Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll never miss another awesome redstone video. Hey guys, today I'm going to show you basically how you can get good at flying machines, so you won't just have to look up tutorials and copy people's flying machines. You'll actually be able to build your own. And so I think what I'm going to do to start this off is I just want to kind of show you the basic idea of how they work. So basically the way it works is you have basically an observer running into this piston, and so let's say that observer fires, it makes this piston spits out its block, and then this one will retract the whole thing back. Then the back piston spits out its block again. Then this one retracts everything back. Then it spits out its block, retracts everything back, and it just keeps kind of moving across like that. So that's kind of the basic idea of how flying machines work. Now I'm going to show you a basic way you can kind of build that into a flying machine. So now the way we can make it update every time it moves, the way we can make it keep powering is by putting observers here. So right now I'm just building the same basic thing we had over here. See, this is that same sort of arrangement I had over there. But now I'm adding in some observers onto these slime blocks. And now these observers are going to get updated every time the flying machine moves, and that's going to power the pistons. So if I update this block here, if I break this obsidian, it's going to update the observer, and then that's going to power this piston and make everything spit it out. Then when it gets spit out, every time an observer moves, it gets updated. So when it spits out all these blocks, it's going to update the observer and make this one pull it back, and then it'll kind of just do like what I was showing you over there. It'll create a cycle of these observers are going to push everything and then get updated, and then make the other one pull everything back, which updates this one. This one pushes, this one updates, this one pulls everything back, and then it keeps going like that. So as you can see, it's just doing that. Like I said, it's just moving across the screen, kind of just moving across. And this specific type of flying machine I built here can go both ways. I'm not the one who originally created this, I don't think. I've seen this sort of flying machine before, but this is just the best kind of simplest one I've seen before, and it goes both ways, so I really like this one. I'm not really sure who came up with this, but good job whoever did. Maybe I'll put a link in the description or something. But anyways, now I'm going to show you kind of how you can expand off of this, because this is just a basic flying machine, and I don't know, maybe you want to build some big TNT missile or something really cool, or you want to make just a bigger flying machine that pushes lots of blocks. I'm going to show you how you can do that. So let's move this observer out of the way. This does the exact same thing. I'm just clearing out space here, but this will still just power this piston like normal. I just want to add a piston here, that's why I moved the observer. So now what I can do is have this whole flying machine is going to be pushing this block, because now every single time this observer is getting updated, it's also powering this piston as well as this piston, so it'll keep pushing this block. So as you can see, it's just pushing the block. So already we've kind of expanded off of just a normal flying machine. This isn't anything fancy either, but it is somewhat, it's kind of a step. So that's sort of one way you can make it bigger. And then this is the real thing that I think is kind of a good trick. You can build these little segments on the end which can push their own set of 12 blocks. You can go over the push limit basically. For example, this one piston here, here, let me just build a bunch. To show you this, I'm just going to build a bunch of blocks here. So I'm just going to build a big wall of 12 slime blocks, which is the push limit in Minecraft, in case you didn't know. So basically now what's going to happen is this piston here wouldn't be able to push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, however many there are. There's way more than 12 blocks in front of this one piston. But now, because I have this little segment here, this piston only has to push these 4 blocks. And then this piston only has to push these 3 blocks. And then this piston just has to push 12 blocks. So now it's kind of split up the workload, so it's not one piston pushing the whole thing. So that's a good thing about making these little modules. That's how people make gigantic flying machines. They just build little sections like this of different pistons. So it's not just one piston pushing a gigantic wall of slime blocks that's has several hundred blocks. It's a bunch of little modules. And this isn't the only way you can build these like segment things. You can build them other ways too. I'm just showing you kind of a basic one. So now, as you can see, even though that would normally be way too many blocks for one piston to push, it can still push everything, since I have the module there now. Or whatever you call it, I don't really know. I don't really have like technical names for these, I'm just calling it what they seem like. Like, just seems like a module to me, I guess. I'm just saying like what they do. This is just the motor that pushes everything, then there's little segments on the end, so they're not like technical terms. This is just kind of stuff I've learned while playing Minecraft. And so now basically you can build like big sections of modules that push other modules. So you could have like, let's say you want to expand it kind of sideways like this. So now there's two modules. This thing is this is 10 blocks, so this one piston should be able to push it. And now I have two separate little module things. And now what I can do is I can expand upwards from this even. So each of these can be pushing 2 pistons or something. Each of these can be pushing 2 modules. And so here's one thing, like, you couldn't put it here because slime blocks can drag normal blocks, but normal blocks won't be able to bring the slime blocks, so this observer is not, when this gets pushed, the observer won't pull all these blocks with it, but if it's a slime block, it will pull everything with it. So I can't build a normal module like this. I need to figure out a different way, so let's just do this. I'll just put one on the side here. Whoops, my bad. So I'll just put one on the side there, and so now as you can see that still functions and pushes, and so I'll just build another one on the side over here. And so I'm not really gonna just fill in, I'm not gonna like waste time building tons of huge extra blocks for it to push, but like I'm sure you already know like this would be able to push way more blocks now that I have all these modules. So like now this could push 4 different sets of 12 blocks if I actually wanted to, which I'm not going to build 12 blocks on the end. I'm just going to put these slime blocks here as examples, but like this could push way more blocks now because I have these different like module things. So that's how you make it. Like this one piston would not be able to push all of this, but now I have these separate little segments that are pushing different segments and just kind of expanding the whole machine and making it really big. So that's kind of how you can make these really like cool big flying machines. You just build a bunch of different like segments on the end of it, and I don't think this is gonna pull everything back. Yeah, it's not gonna pull everything back just because of the way it hit the obsidian, but I'm not really gonna go into too much detail, but all you need to know is that's not gonna pull it back. But yeah, that's kind of how you can build stuff bigger than just the normal push limit. So now like I don't know, maybe you've seen those like giant robots and things people build. That's how they do it. They build like different module section thingies, whatever you want to call them, and so then they can just kind of expand and make huge things that one piston wouldn't be able to push normally. So that's kind of how you can just start building bigger things. And now I'm going to show you another thing that's useful. So let's just kind of move on to missiles now, and I'm going to show you like a method of kind of like triggering it. So this is kind of how you can trigger stuff once it hits. So I'm just going to go ahead and build something here, and I'll kind of explain what I'm doing here in a second. So basically now it says like, this is basically one module, but I guess it's 2 modules actually, because now I have 2 different pistons that could each push their own set of 12 blocks, I guess. But still, it's basically just like, I don't know, like now you basically have 2 modules. So on this first module, let's add a quartz block, or I'll just put it here, because it doesn't really change anything. And then on this one here, I'm gonna add some TNT. And actually, I think what I'm gonna do instead of quartz, I need to put a redstone block, because otherwise this won't activate the TNT. But what's gonna happen is, let's say this whole module gets pushed. If this whole module thing here gets pushed, then maybe I can demonstrate this somehow. So I'll just put like an observer here and show you what happens when it gets pushed. So there, oh, well that didn't work how I was expecting, but basically what's supposed to happen is like, this will power this piston here, and then this piston will push its redstone block. So what you might think is going to happen is, like, when it pushes the redstone block, it'll push it right under this TNT and then ignite the TNT. But actually what happens instead is this piston pushes everything at the same time. So the TNT gets pushed at the same time as the redstone block, so the redstone block doesn't blow up all the TNT. But then what happens is, let's say there's this big wall here, and then everything runs into the wall. Then if this runs into the wall, this piston won't be able to push everything anymore because it's stuck by the wall. It won't be able to push it out of the way. So when this pushes the redstone block, the TNT will still be here because it can't push it out of the way. So that will actually make it ignite once it hits something. Oh, I don't know, maybe I built it wrong or something last time, I don't know, but sometimes, I mean, you will mess up when you're building flying machines. It's just kind of like how it works, I guess. You sometimes mess up, but the concept is there. Like, you kind of, hopefully you understand how you can build, like, things that activate when they get hit. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it really did teach you how to make these flying machines, because this is kind of like how I learned. I just kind of tried to summarize what I learned into one video, so hopefully that was good for you guys, and hopefully you know how to build flying machines now. So obviously, like, this didn't cover everything, but hopefully now you should be a lot better at building flying machines than you used to be. So thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.